All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk, Friday, August 19th, 2022. Got quite a bit to talk about here tonight, and going on in sports. A lot of baseball going on, a lot of stuff heating up in the NFL with the NFL regular season just about 25 days away. So it's going to be interesting to see what all transpires here in the next couple of weeks, getting into the regular season. I'm hoping the Colts can get through the rest of this preseason without anybody else getting hurt. As after we just lost one of our top tight end price prospects for the season with a knee injury during the preseason. So I just hope we can stay whole. But joined tonight by the Judge as always. How's it going, Judge?
What's going on, man? How you feeling tonight? It's Friday.
I've been feeling good. Been watching baseball. Watched Little League baseball. Now I'm
Great.
watching the Dodgers and the Marlins.
Hey, I was watching that downstairs too. I was watching the Dodgers and Marlins game. Um, last time I saw it was scoreless,
It's still scoreless.
and there was traffic on the bases, and Freddie Freeman grounded out to first, and that ended the inning, and that's the last I saw of the game. But hey, at least we're doing better than the Yankees. I mean, I don't mean to rub that in the faces of Yankee fans, but I mean, the Dodgers are doing a lot better than the New York Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees have been struggling since the All Star break.
Yes, and the Yankees offense was lifeless again tonight.
Nick,
That's the game that I checked out earlier. They were playing the Toronto Blue Jays tonight, and the Yankees couldn't, generate enough offense, couldn't, really get the bat swinging. And, you know, I mean, you could say whatever you want about the bullpen not doing its part or not playing a huge role, you know, in in this team's success. Um, but how can the bullpen do its job if they have no run support or if they're not
yeah.
getting guys to produce when they come to the plate? I mean, you can't really protect the lead if you don't have a lead. So I mean, you could say the bullpen is not doing what it needs to do because the bullpen hasn't been uh innocent either. The bullpen is just as guilty as the offense. Um, and we saw that once again. I think once they get Clay Holmes back, that's a guy. That's another arm that they can use in their bullpen. He can probably come in and put up some zeros. Because that's been a problem. Aroldis Chapman, he's not the same. He lost his role as the closer on the team. And you saw tonight again, he was laboring out there. He was struggling in a high leverage situation. Couldn't get the outs. Uh, Boone had to come in. He pulled him from the game. Said, "Hey, son, hand me over the ball. Your night is over. You're done. You're coming out of the game." But again, there's a cause for concern for this Yankees team. The Yankees were blanked by the Blue Jays in a 4-0 loss at Yankee Stadium. And you even heard it from the fans. The fans were very disappointed. You even heard boos as Chapman, was walking off the field. He was greeted by boos. So I mean, it was another unpleasant night for the Yankees. And now the Yankees are 73-47 on the season for the 14th time in their last 18 games, and have fallen to 12-24 since July 8th. I mean, this team has really, really played terrible baseball in the last month or so. They haven't been able to pile up any victories. They've dealt with a lot of injuries, and I think they are really, really missing guys like Matt Carpenter, and Giancarlo Stanton. Those two guys are greatly missed in that lineup of theirs. I feel like once they get those two guys back, they'll be a better team. But what their record indicates, I mean, it just doesn't look like a team that is dominating their division right now. I mean, it feels like the Yankees are not 73 and 47. It feels like the Yankees are 47 and 73, or however you want to look at it. It feels like this team has more losses than wins, but it's just not a good look right now. Fans are feeling dejected. The game has, not been in their favor lately at all, and not even Aaron Judge is performing well. He entered the night 8 for 20 in his career against Kevin Gausman, and I mean the AL MVP favorite, the top candidate to win the award, went 0 for 2 with a walk and is now 2 for 23. Get this. The guy that has a ridiculous stat line and who has been sensational all season and has, put up some monster numbers, is 2 for 23 over his last 7 games. It's hard to believe. Now you got this new kid who's coming on as Rado Cabrera, and he gave the Yankees their best moment of the night. And I saw it, and I even saw it on replay on the first pitch. He robbed Gurriel, who drilled the fastball to right field. It was a home run, but Cabrera went back to the wall and, used his 5'10" frame to pull it back in with what was a leaping grab. It was just sensational. But this Yankees team, man, they need to find life. They need a few days off if they could. They're not going to get that because the schedule won't give that to them. They have to continue to play baseball. But they could use a few days off to regroup and to, find a way to catch fire again and hopefully deliver, some of their best offense. I really don't know what else to say. They're not the Bucks Bummers right now. They're not, putting the ball in play. They're not getting on base. When they are on base, and when there is traffic on base, they can't, drive in the runs. It's just misery right now for this team.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is a lot of people are overreacting some too, because you have to think about it. They really didn't have no slump in the first half of the season, and so now they're having their slump. They're lucky. The good thing for them is they have that 9-game lead, so they have a little bit of leeway they can play with.
Right.
You don't want to let it get too close, though. So they got to get their bats going. But the big thing to me is I think they're pressing. They haven't been hitting the ball, so now they're up there trying too hard. And when you get a bunch of guys up there trying too hard, that just compounds the problem. You need to be relaxed, go up there, clear mind, ready to see the ball and hit the ball, not thinking, oh man, I'm 2 for my last 30. I need to hit real bad. You know what I mean? You need to be up there with confidence, and they got to get that momentum back. I don't know if they're going to make it to the World Series because I think some of these injuries might catch up to them. If we'll see how healthy they can stay, but I think they'll get back going and still win this division. I know Dustin says hot take of the night: Yankees will lose the division in game 163 to the Rays.
They could,
and then play the Blue Jays in the wild card. I mean, they could, but I don't know if they do. If they lose this division, Boone's gone. If they lose this division, I think Boone's gone.
That would
if they were to have that big of a collapse. But
yeah,
I think they'll hold on to the division. We'll just see if they have any momentum going into the playoffs. That's going to be the big thing. If they can get this turned back around and get some momentum going into the postseason or not. So
I mean, when you lose two of your top run producers, that could be very deflating for any team, And like I said, they're really missing Matt Carpenter, and of course, Giancarlo Stanton. Those two guys were, they played a pivotal role when they were healthy and part of that lineup. And it's the next batter up now. The next batter up has to step up.
Well, yeah, and the good thing is that Stanton's pretty close to coming back.
They're gonna need him. He could probably be that lifesaver.
He's pretty close to coming back. I heard he wants to try to play tomorrow, but I don't know if he's going to come back that quick. But I know he's pretty close to being back. I'm not sure about Carpenter, but yeah, they get Stanton back. That'll help some, and just maybe getting a couple of them guys back in the lineup. At least just one of them back in the lineup might get just spark. All you need is that spark sometimes to get things going again.
And more importantly,
yeah, they need. But yeah, the Yankees definitely have to start playing better ball.
Right.
But if they don't, I think Boone's gone. And I hate to say that because I like the Boone family, but if they don't make it past the first round of the playoffs, I think he's in trouble.
Right. And here's the thing too. More importantly, that bullpen is gonna have to step up as well. And they're gonna have to get the outs, pitch some scoreless innings, keep the runners, off balance, keep the hitters off balance, keep runners off base. I think Jonathan Luane, how you say his name, his last name? Out of their bullpen, I think he's their best high leverage guy. I mean, when he's on, he can really throw some heaters. He has electric stuff, and he can be a strikeout guy. He's definitely a high leverage guy. I think the bullpen is going to be critical for the Yankees.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did hire Boone. Boone has done some good things there with the Yankees.
He's not that bad of a manager.
We'll get him over the hump. And I can't blame it all on him because some of it's been injuries too. But if you have a collapse this year, and especially if you collapse so bad you don't win the division, I don't see how he returns as the Yankees manager next year.
Right.
I don't think that they're going to put up with that. They're just too impatient. You know what I mean? It's World Series or bust every year. At least that's the way the Yankees think. No matter how good their team is, that's what they think. And if you have that off that hot start, looked like you were the best team in baseball, and if you collapse so much that you don't win your division, I think somebody has to go.
And it's crazy to see that Chapman is not this lights out closer anymore. I mean, I noticed that he's depending on the breaking ball more than he used to. But he even got caught in a pickle tonight. Was in a situation where he walked back-to-back hitters on 9 pitches for the second time in 3 games. I mean, and this is why he is no longer the closer for the Yankees, because you can't count on a guy in the 9th inning to get the outs. He just doesn't have that nasty stuff anymore that used to intimidate hitters and used to keep them off balance. You just don't see that same Chapman anymore. So I mean, the Yankees are gonna have to get some great bullpen help. They're going to have to get some bullpen help. They're going to have to get guys that really step it up in that bullpen. To me, that's an area of concern. Their bullpen and their hitters. Not so much the starters in their starting rotation. It is the bullpen, especially the back end of that bullpen. They definitely can use some arms.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens.
The offense has to turn it on. The offense has been the problem.
Well, I mean, that's what happens sometimes when you rely on the home run so much, and you got to have so many teams that do that now. It's like,
oh yeah,
Okay, it's all great when you're getting them home runs, but when you're not, when you start struggling to hit home runs, then you're in trouble.
Yep.
You get a lot. If you do get somebody on base, you see a lot of runners get stranded anymore because you don't see a lot of them go for sacrifice bunts or just to try to get the runners in scoring position. It's all you got runners on. We need to hit a home run, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just, it's a different game. I mean, I'd like to see it go back more to the some of the small ball being more involved.
I don't
Uh,
think we're gonna get too much of that anymore.
Not with these analytics, I don't think, but I don't
Yeah,
know. I
those
think
days
you're
are
going to see
behind.
some teams that are going to try to still go that route
Mm-hmm.
because if you can play good defense, have good pitching, and you can, I mean, you can put up 3 4 runs. You can win a lot of games that way.
Right. Oh, absolutely. You can. You can win a lot of games playing small ball. But again, everyone wants to be the hero, and everyone wants to rely on the home run ball. Everyone is swinging for the fences, and sometimes that's why a lot of these guys are swinging and missing because they're overly aggressive when they come to the plate. They're chasing things down and away. Their timing is off. They're a little bit late on their swing, and and the problem with a lot of these pitchers now is that they can't command their pitches, and sometimes the pitches get away from them, or the hitters are able to connect, and it turns out to be a disaster for the pitcher that's on the mound. And that's what we're seeing with the Yankees.
Yeah, Dustin said, "Are you for or against eliminating the shift, which is most likely coming next year?" Um, I didn't care. I really didn't care if they eliminated it. Only thing I thought with the shift is that I didn't like where you could put everybody out in the outfield. I thought like infielders should have to stay in the dirt,
Mm-hmm.
outfielders in the outfield. But if you want, I don't care where you play them at necessarily. But I mean, I mean, the shift didn't bother me that much. I was worried about them getting rid of it.
The shift is basically when you have four outfielders. I don't have a problem with it. If they eliminate it, fine. If they keep it, fine. Um, you know, any fan would be pleased if the shift worked for their team. There would be no complaints. So it's one of those things where it either benefits your team or it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I didn't see what the big deal about it was to have to take it away. Like I said, I do think if you want to play two guys on the left side of second base, that's fine. Just both. I just like for both of them to have to be in the infield, not one out in the outfield. But other than that, but even I mean, but if they didn't change it, it didn't bother me either. You know, I mean, it wasn't that big a deal
Right.
to me. But I think you're right, Dustin. That is a lot of it is the launch angle because even at the young kid age, they're all worried about that launch angle and trying to hit the ball out, and then and to me that can develop bad habits because you get these kids starting to do uppercut swings, and then it's hard to get them out of it.
Right.
I mean, it's real hard to get them out of it when you get into stuff like you get into the especially when you're a kid, you get a kid doing a bad habit, and sometimes you can get away with them bad habits. But as you get older, you can't get away with them bad habits anymore.
That's true. You could get away with it for so long, and then all of a sudden, you're not getting away with that anymore. And that's how life is.
Braves are 10-1 their last 11 games.
They're
They
hot
look
right
like they're catching fire again, like they did last year after the All Star break.
now. The White Sox
Uh,
are playing really well, and another team that has come out of nowhere is the Baltimore Orioles after trading Trey Mancini.
Well, they were playing good before
They were playing good before that too, but they've really turned it on since the All-Star break.
they were playing good. That's why I was surprised that they were trading people at the All-Star breaks to try to add to their team, and then but
Well,
they
they
have
do
been
have
playing
one of
well.
the top. They do have one of the top farm systems in baseball with a lot of promising players and future assets. And I think they've arrived a little bit early. They're ahead of schedule.
Minnesota beat the Rangers. The Minnesota's not been playing bad either.
No, they haven't. They haven't. They've been playing really well. I think that game was actually broadcast on Apple TV tonight as well,
Or
along
was
with
it?
the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Yeah, the Blue Jays game and the Yankees game was on Apple TV tonight.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I was watching I was watching Little League baseball, and
Yeah,
I
I,
watched
I
watched a little bit of SmackDown, and then
okay. Yeah, I was watching the Yankees and the Blue Jays game, and the Yankees, man, it was just another frustrating night. There's a lot of things that need to be answered for that Yankees team.
yeah, but going back to the Braves for a minute, man, the Braves they're turning it on, and man, they got a young core, and then they reached a deal with that Harris and got him under contract now. I mean, the Braves are setting themselves up where they could put themselves in a situation where they could be good for next 4, 5, 5, 6 years. Have a top team if they because they got a young team.
You have an incredible third baseman in Austin Riley who finally got paid. Got a big contract. He's locked up with the team for the next 10 years, I believe. That was a good signing for the Braves, a good extension, well deserved for a guy who's been, a key component to that team's success in recent years. You don't miss Freddie Freeman that much because his replacement at first base has numbers that's identical to Freddie Freeman, and Matt Olson was never a bad first baseman. He was a slugger. Yes, he did have a year where he had a down year, but he, bounced back from that and he responded quite well. And the Braves saw an opportunity to get him. They did because they knew that they were most likely losing out on Freddie Freeman, that he wouldn't be back in the Braves uniform. And look what Matt Olson has done. Matt Olson is back home. He's enjoying that home cooking. He's been great for them. Then you mentioned Harris. Harris is another player that's coming on for them. You have a Ronald Acuna Jr., who's one of the most exciting players in baseball. I mean, how can you not love the guy? The guy is incredible. He's a fun-loving guy. He boosts the energy in that dugout. And he's an electrifying player, a joy to watch and to have around. And I think his teammates gravitate to him as well. So yeah, the Braves really definitely got something going on there. Then you have Brian Snicker, who's a damn good manager. I think we saw much of that a year ago. How great of a manager he is. And yeah, the Braves are really hot right now, and they're going to continue on this stretch. They're going to continue to amaze people, and they're looking to defend their title this year.
People better not sleep on the Cardinals, though. The Cardinals are playing good baseball, and the addition of Montgomery has really helped their starting rotation. And so
Yes,
you can't sleep on the Cardinals because you get, like you said, you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. When they
right,
got a good
right.
pitching staff and they get their bats going, uh, they could be a tough out.
Well, the Cardinals have always been a tough out in October, right? They've always been one of those teams that can make a deep run in October. And Nolan Arenado to me is the best third baseman I've ever seen. Okay, hands down, he is the best third baseman I've ever seen. When you watch some of his highlights and some of those incredible plays that he make at third base, no one in the league can top that. It's amazing to watch. Then you have Paul Goldschmidt, who's having the MVP type season, who probably should win the NL MVP award. He's been a beast this year for the Cardinals. You have Edmund. That guy can steal bases. He's aggressive on the bases.
I've heard people mention Arenado's name for MVP.
I've heard that too. But I'm leaning more towards Paul Goldschmidt. The numbers that he has put up, the he's been a critical piece to that team, and he's been great offensively all year long, and he's been able to sustain that level of success for a long period of time. So I'm kind of leaning, towards him to win the award. But yeah, you're right. The Cardinals are getting great defense as well. And I mentioned that when I talked about Nolan Arenado. They're a very good defensive team. They make plays. They make things happen with their gloves. Those guys are really, really on fire right now.
Dustin says thoughts on Little League World Series. My prediction right now is Canada, international champs, Hawaii, the U.S. champs. Hawaii winning it all. I really like that Hawaii team. They're impressive the way they hit the ball, and they got good pitching. I do like Canada. I thought they looked real good. I also think that Mexico team looked real good as well.
Yeah, I heard Mexico's pretty good well, because I was watching a game the other day. It was Texas versus Pennsylvania. And man, them Texas kids, man, they didn't let up. They didn't take their foot off the gas pedal. They kept fighting to the very end. And them kids, man, they had a lot of guts. They played tough. They played ball. And those guys were good. They even had a pair of web gems in that game. It was great to see those kids play. It was a lot of fun. It was very exciting.
Oh, hey, no, the Little League games are fun to watch. And them kids can play some ball.
Yep.
But that Texas team is good. I just don't know if they're going to have enough to stay with Hawaii. It's going to be interesting.
What's up, Eddie? Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it.
Look at this. Hawaii's outscored their opponents 23-1 in 10 innings so far.
They're really good.
Yeah, they pound the ball.
They pound the ball really hard, huh? They like to slap the ball to all parts of the field, I see.
Yeah, it'll be a good I think they're going to have a real good chance of probably winning it. But that Texas team is good. There's a lot of good teams there. I'm hoping that Indiana can get by Tennessee on Monday, but Tennessee was pounding the ball today. It's always fun to watch and get a whole nother week of it. So hey, I'm not going to complain.
I was actually rooting for Indiana too because I thought about you, Chris, and I know
they won the first game,
so I was rooting for them.
They about blew it, but they won it. They won that first game, but they about gave it away, making some throwing errors and stuff. But man, I was able to get a walk off to get it. But let's talk a little bit of NFL. What do you think about Brady being away from the Bucs? And now they're saying that there's not a timetable set when he's going to be back. Do you think this is going to affect their offense at all? I think it could affect a little bit at the beginning of the season just because of timing with some of your younger receivers. But other than that, it's Tom Brady, so I don't think it's going to be a big issue.
I don't think it's going to be a big issue either. Look, he's Tom freaking Brady, right? We all know that the guy has won multiple Super Bowls. He has, made the Bucs who they are today. He has made that team relevant again. When he signed there, what happened? He guided that team to a Super Bowl. He pretty much led that team to a Super Bowl. That's how good he is. He is the GOAT of all quarterbacks. And it's impressive that he has gotten better with age, because we all know his workout regimen. We all know how he conditions his body and how he is always game ready and he prepares for the upcoming season. So I don't think this is going to affect the Bucs that much. But to your point, I think it will affect some of the younger receivers because he's not there to kind of develop that chemistry with that young core. But that will come in time. Whenever he does decide to show up, if he does decide to show up, I think they would, get things down quickly, and they'll be fine moving forward. I don't think this is too much of a problem. I think at the end of the day, the Bucs will be just fine.
Yeah, I think from what I'm hearing, because they've kept it pretty quiet about why he hasn't been around, but I think his mom is ill again, and then it's from what I'm hearing, and that's why he's not been around. So I think that's why there's not a exact timetable when he's going to be back. Uh, so if it is his mom, I mean, hopefully she gets better. But I know she had some health issues, so. But that's what I've heard is his mom isn't doing very good.
And he's a very family oriented person, so his family's always gonna come first. And so if she is ailing again, my thoughts and prayers are with the Brady family at this time.
And then finally found out how long Deshaun Watson was getting suspended for. Got suspended for 11 games, fined $5 million. What do you think the Browns are going to do from here? You think they're going to just stick with Brissett for until he gets back? Do you think that he might that they might go try to trade for somebody, maybe like a Jimmy G? Tyler Huntley might be available. So somebody like that, or do you think they're just going to say we're going to stick with Brissett and see what happens?
Uncertainty has surrounded the Cleveland Browns quarterback position. Now that we know that the NFL and the NFLPA have reached a settlement on an 11-game suspension and a $5 million fine for Deshaun Watson. Now we know that that there's no quarterback really that is as good as Deshaun Watson to fill that void. So now they're going to have to lean on the shoulders of Jacoby Brissett. And if they do decide to trade for a quarterback, I'm guessing it would be Jimmy G. Now, acquiring Jimmy G via trade would likely be tricky, right? The 30-year-old is currently owed $24.2 million salary for the 2022 season. It's also worth pointing out that Jimmy G's salary becomes guaranteed if the 49ers keep him past the August 30th roster cutdown. So that makes it likely that he will be released if he is not traded by then. Do you sign him if he does get released? This Browns team, I'm not too sure if they would snatch Jimmy G off the market. And I say this because they seem to be very confident in Deshaun Watson. I don't know if you heard the press conferences from the owners and the general manager, and they are really sold on Deshaun Watson. They have been defending him. They have had his back through this entire process. They seem to be committed to him in the long term in their future plans. So it wouldn't make sense to get Jimmy G for a short time, knowing that Deshaun Watson is only suspended 11 games. If this is the guy you plan on making your quarterback in the future.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm them, if you're going to stick with Brissett, to me, you might as well not even play Deshaun Watson at all this season.
Well, yeah, if they perform really well with Brissett, why?
No, not that. I'm saying that because if they are bad, if you're say you're 2-9, when after his 11-game suspension, what's the point of playing him?
That's true. You might as well wait till the following season and give him a fresh start.
Why take a chance of him getting hurt?
Season. Right.
Why take a chance of him getting hurt?
Right, but they seem to be content with Deshaun Watson, so I don't think they would make a trade for another quarterback. I think this will just be one of those years where it's kind of a down year. I mean, hey, if you win with Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback, great. If you don't, oh well, we'll try it again next year. We'll try next season with Deshaun Watson. He'll have a full season at the quarterback position.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting. I don't think the Browns thought that he was gonna get 11 games, so I think this kind of threw a little bit of a wrench in there more. But when they got that appeal, they knew he was getting more than 6, so they had to be kind of preparing for it. I still don't understand what the point of starting him in that preseason game was, unless they're just trying to show people that they're behind them, I guess, maybe. But other than that, I don't know why they would even put him out there. Why they put him out there didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, it's obvious that they're behind him. I mean, they defended him the whole time during this process. You know, and I mean, they said that he's deserving of a second chance. They seem to believe, according to the owners, that he has grown from this, that he has matured, that he is a changed man, that he is a better man. You can use whatever word you want to use to define the whole situation, but I'll just leave it at that.
Ooh, at the wall, warning track power.
What game is that?
Dodgers. It's still 0-0, 6 inning.
Who hit the ball to the warning track?
Guy, it was for the Dodgers. I'm not even sure who was up to bat. I just happened to look up and saw the ball got hit. I wasn't paying enough attention. I couldn't tell you the name. Well, hold on, I can tell you who's up to bat. You probably know their batting order. Turner's up to bat. So who's their leadoff batter? It was their leadoff batter.
Mookie Betts.
It was Betts, dude. It was Betts.
Okay, so it's Trey Turner now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the Betts hit one to the left field right in the warning track. Yeah, now Trey Turner's up. It's bottom of the 6th, still no score, 0-0. Did you hear Steve Young's comments about about how he feels that the Ravens are holding Lamar Jackson back by the kind of offense they have that they're building around him instead of letting him play a more sophisticated passing offense and trusting him to do it? That he thinks they're holding him back, and I mean he said that if he went to another team that would let him do it, that he thinks Lamar would even better. I don't know what brought this all up.
Yeah, but how can you be a more
broadcast?
Yeah, but how can you be a more sophisticated passer if that's one of your weaknesses, passing the football? I mean, that's clearly a glaring weakness for Lamar Jackson. And I mean, that's been the knock on Lamar Jackson, right? His inability to make plays because he struggles passing the ball. And he's not the most efficient passer. And he's not an elite passer. He's more of a dual threat quarterback because of his mobility and what he can do with his feet. He's an incredible runner. He still has to work on his throwing mechanics though. So I don't know. I feel like if you put him in any system, he won't flourish. He won't thrive. And that's not me, you know, putting him down or saying that he's a bad quarterback. I think he's uh gifted. I think he's athletically gifted. I think he has the potential to be a great, QB in this league. I think there's just a few things he needs to tweak and work on to develop into becoming a better quarterback, a more efficient quarterback, a more reliable quarterback, someone that your team can trust to make those throws down the field. Because there will come times in games where you have to make those crucial throws, and your team is going to be counting on you to make some plays down the field. And that's something that Lamar Jackson has shown that he can't do.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that point, but like, I kind of understand what Young is trying to say, but also I understand what the Ravens are trying to do as well. But I think what Young is saying to a point is that the routes that they have the receivers run aren't the top routes where they can get open. They try to simplify it to because of Lamar Jackson, where he don't think they need to do that for him. Let them receivers run do some more sophisticated schemes, and he thinks Lamar could have more success, which I understand at that point. But yeah, Lamar has to get more accurate and more consistent throwing the ball. I mean, that's just something he's going to have to do especially as his career goes, because the older he gets and the more hits that he takes, he's not going to have that athleticism forever.
Right.
And once he loses a little bit of that speed, is he going to be the same runner? So, and loses just a little bit of athleticism. So that's where eventually they got to try to develop him more as a passer. And if that means him maybe having a little bit more of a rough year or for a season to change the offense a little bit and force him to have to make some of them throws. And yeah, you might get a few turnovers, but that's the only way you're ever going to find out if he can do it or not is to open it up and give him that chance. Because if you don't give him the chance, you're never going to know. And if you wait too long, then you're not going to have time to figure out if he can or not. And now you're getting ready to have to pay the dude a bunch of money to keep him. And if he has a great year this year, if you don't get something decided by the trade deadline, or not trade deadline, damn it, by the beginning of the season, he said that he's not negotiating again until after the season. So that means they're basically will franchise tag him. And then if he gets franchise tagged and he has a great year this year, then Baltimore just cost herself more money.
Right. So that's why he's just chilling, and he's not, making a big deal about holding out or,
Well, the only thing is,
that
I
big
mean, you are
payday.
taking the chance. You're betting on yourself that you're not going to get a big injury or something like that.
Right. And he's been patient through the whole entire process. Which is amazing to me because a lot, like you said, a lot of these athletes nowadays, they like to secure their bag, you know, because you never know when an injury might happen or when you might take that hit and you could lose out on a lot of money. So, I mean, hey, you know what? He's just chilling because he knows at some point that payday is coming, and he knows that he could be the next highest paid quarterback. I think more than anything, he's focused on, this upcoming season, the Baltimore Ravens. And also, this is a chance for him to improve in every statistical category and try to lead his team to, wins each Sunday. I think that's the bigger priority. Being more accurate, Work on your accuracy and your ball skills, and make sure you make those timely decisions, and you don't turn over the football, and you don't just rely on your feet, but your arm as well to again make those throws and find your open receivers, and put the ball in the hands of those guys and let them do their work down the field.
Did you watch any of the preseason games tonight?
I didn't, because I'm not a big fan of preseason sports. I really don't tune in. I started paying attention when the games actually count.
Oh yeah, I don't watch much preseason either.
Preseason to me is just a waste of time. I could be watching a baseball game or a women's NBA game, or something that has meaning to it. A meaningful game.
Speaking of WNBA, the Sky got upset the other night, and they're the defending champions. Liberty upset them, and they play again tomorrow afternoon.
Wow.
But it's weird the way the WNBA is doing these first series. It don't make a whole lot of sense.
I noticed that yesterday. I noticed Washington playing Seattle.
Well, not that. What I mean, because they seed you went by your seed, but what don't make a whole lot of sense to me.
It works a little different from the NBA.
Yeah. Well, what don't make a whole lot of sense though is this is your the number one seed and number two seed. The team they had to play. They're having them playing this round, and it's a 3-game series. But what's what's messed up about it is the first 2 games was at the better team, the better seed, and then if there's a game 3, the better seed's on the road.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
So like with the Liberty upsetting winning that game 1, now they've guaranteed that there's going to be a game. They're going to have a game at home to try to win that series.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a little confusing. That's confusing too.
It's backwards. I mean,
right.
You should be rewarding the team that is the better seed, not punishing them.
Right. It's like you're demanding for them to go to the corner and face the wall.
Well, you're putting a lot of pressure on them to have to win that first game of that 3-game series, because if they lose that game, now they know they're going to have a closeout game on the road.
Yeah, which makes it more challenging for that team.
Yeah, and if you're the better team,
maybe that's what they want. They want to try something different too.
My thing is,
try to entice the fans, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but my thing is, if you're the better team, you earn that better. You earn the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed. You shouldn't have to travel on the road for an elimination game. That makes no sense. That you earn that. That's why you earn the seed, is to get home, to have a home game in this. So it just, I don't know. It's weird to make it like that. You're putting so much pressure on that one game because, like you said, hell, now the Liberty are basically, they can come into this game too now, and they really have nothing to lose, because if they do lose the game, they get to go home and try again.
Mm-hmm. They get a chance. They get a chance to redeem themselves. Yeah, and try to avenge the loss.
Yeah, there was both the WNBA games, playoff games last night was pretty good. I didn't watch any of them tonight. Like I said, I was watching.
I watched the one last night until my fiance got bored, and then we turned on a Disney movie on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched some of it last night. I didn't watch none tonight, and then I was watching Little League, and then I started watching WWE SmackDown, a little bit of it. A little bit of that, a little bit of, but actually waiting to see if what happens in this Dodgers game. But I don't know if I'm gonna make it all the way to the end of the game or not.
What's the score? It's still scoreless?
Yeah, top of 7, still scoreless. Marlins have a runner on second, no outs.
Tyler Anderson, man, he's been flawless too. He's been pitching a lot of scoreless innings.
Yeah, yes, he has.
And you know who else been pitching a lot of scoreless innings? Kevin Gosman, Blue Jays starter.
Oh
He's
yeah. Gosman's
especially on the road. He's been pitching some scoreless innings.
And the Blue Jays are finally starting to play better too.
Yeah, they're peaking at the right time. It would be nice if they sweep the Yankees. That'd be huge because that would give them a chance to cut into that lead.
And then the Mets got a nice win tonight. But the Braves won as well, so it kind of even that kept everything the same in that extent. OJ was probably mad Astros got beat.
Oh yeah, the Astros did go down tonight, huh?
Yeah, to the Braves. Eddie said, "On my way to Wisconsin, fellas. Can't comment much, but love the topics. Hey, we appreciate you being on and listening.
Thank you.
You have anything else you want to talk about that I missed?
Man, I think we covered it all in this show.
Getting ready for the weekend tomorrow. If you're a UFC fan, come join us tomorrow night. We'll be doing a live reaction and watch along show on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. I think Pride's going to jump on. My dad will be. I know my dad is going. I know for sure my dad's going to be on with me. I think Pride might jump on for a little while. But UFC 278 Usman versus Edwards should be a good card. We'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night for that. Got a big interview on Monday as a pro wrestling fan. Marcus Fine will be joining me Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Got another pro wrestler, John Scrutch. He'll be joining me Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So got a couple wrestling interviews coming up this week. So hey, there's a lot going on, but yeah, join us tomorrow for the UFC. Should be a fun one. And if you missed our UFC preview and prediction show today, Pride joined me on my sports betting show, Easy Money, and we done a UFC preview and prediction show. Go check it out. You can find it on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room or at the All Sports All Plays Networks on their YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as well. But we broke down the full card, gave picks out for every fight. So go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Around the Bases, my new baseball show. We had a good episode this morning. Jay McLovin joined me, and then Frankie Cruz made a surprise appearance. I wasn't planned. He messaged me and said, "Hey, send me the link. I'd like to get on." So he got on, and it was nice. We had a good all three of us a good conversation. So check that out. Remember, you can find Gonzo the Judge in podcast form as well. Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find it at Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Then you can also find it on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room, YouTube at the Sports Judge, and YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the All Sports All Plays Network. Did I miss anything?
Nope. You didn't.
I was gonna say, I thought I covered it all, but sometimes I get to saying it and I'll get down. I forgot to say this.
No, you knocked it out of the park. You didn't
Monday.
You didn't swing and miss.
Monday, join. Also, we'll have another episode of our new Colts podcast, Horseshoe Talk. We had an episode tonight. If you missed it, you can go check it out on YouTube and Facebook. But we're live every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern with that. So come join us for that. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 for Gonzo and the Sports Judge. And then Around the Bases, the baseball shows live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Easy Money, sports betting shows live at 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So there's basically always something on the Gonzo Sports Room or either on the All Sports or All Plays Network. There's usually a show going on most of the time. There's not, at least till about midnight or later. Anyway.
But there's always something to keep sports fans occupied.
Oh yeah.
Always something for you guys to watch and be a part of. Most definitely.
Well, Jonathan, if you don't have nothing else, we'll go ahead and we'll get out of here, and we will see you guys Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Gonzo and the Judge. Like I said, remember, you can also find it on podcast form. I'll get this episode on there probably tomorrow. Probably work on that tomorrow morning when I get up. But other than that, be safe. Have a great weekend. If you're going to drink, don't drive. There's no reason to risk it.
Right. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Be smart. Be wise. Don't be a dumb idiot and drink and drive.
Yeah, but be safe, and we will see you guys Monday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Have a great night.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces.